Numbers from that third set. And again, Tursunov, look at that first serve percentage. Wow. I mean, that's anemic.
So Henman will have to quickly dispel the annoyance I'm sure he felt not breaking through, and you can just see him hitting that forehand side and just not dwell on it for too long. Russia note has caught a bit of a reprieve. Double digits for Henman, on aces now. And considering he pulled out a Newhaven because of the condition of his back, you have to say that his serving has been nothing short of miraculous.
Boy, he put the disappointment of that missed opportunity in the last game behind him and truly focused. Good signs for Henman here in the fourth set. And this is where Tursunov sort of lacks that ability to find something else. You know, he's just relying on these first serves, heavy seconds, and he's not getting the ball into the court when he needs to.
Steals it away from Tursunov.
Yeah, and great recognition from Henman. This volley, watch, it bounces up above the net. Instead of covering the middle of the court, now he covers the line. And he guessed right. He read the play so beautifully. He's not perfect at the net, but he's winning the match because of those 37 points won up there.
That's another one. Exquisite from Henman.
Yeah, and this time the pace from the second serve worked against Tursunov. He plays power and finesse. It's a deadly combination.
He had a couple of break points in Tursunov's opening service game. 3 in a row now for Henman. And there's a break. An early break as well in the fourth set for Henman. Things looking good for the British number 2. 2 sets to 1 up and 2-1.
So what are we going to do? Come on, guys, think.
Well, it's everything I despise in a magazine. Fascinating true stories and insider gossip from all the top shows. It actually makes watching telly more enjoyable.
I really like it.
I don't want anybody to see this magazine. If they do, we're finished.
Imagine everything you love about telly in a magazine delivered right to your door.
This summer,
Can we talk?
Goodbye, Dennis.
the world's most hopeless romantic.
What is her problem?
He left her at the altar when she was pregnant.
You brat!
must go the distance.
I'm running.
To win her back.
You've never finished anything in your entire life.
How much further? It's a little tiny 9 miles.
Simon Pegg, Tandy Newton.
You all right? I'm fine.
Run, fat boy, run.
I'm not fast. I'm unfit.
And in some ways, Leif, do you feel as though the fact that he made the announcement, the fact that it's so public knowledge now that he's going to retire, that has enabled him to play with an element of freedom that I don't really think we've seen this year?
Yeah, it's possible. He certainly served like a man who has no worries and no doubts. Whatever it is, he's found a nice rich vein, hasn't he?
Because one of the interesting aspects of this match is a lot of the time when you see players make that announcement and they're going to retire, the hunger goes. You look at Kim Clijsters earlier this year, it dropped off dramatically for her in terms of her wanting to play tennis. But you look at Henman out here and he still looks as though he's hungry with desire and he's eager.
We did see a similar instance with Andre Agassi playing his last US Open, which was a remarkable one. He still displayed the passion.
Well, all credit to Tursunov there. That was not an easy ball to deal with, and he actually managed to keep it low with a little bit of pace. But one of the features of the match has been when he has come into the net, Henman, for the most part, has at least forced the Russian to volley. Not so there. Henman's copyrighted the phrase roller coaster match throughout the course of his career, and once again we could have a potential change in this one. The game-saving volley.
What triggered it was the first serve. You know Henman so well. Where will he go with this first serve?
I don't know him that well. But if I was guessing, which I am, forehand. Well, you have to say, that says a lot about him as well, because for the most part he has taken it into that wing on the forehand side, but he's delivered another telling first serve.
I tell you, it wasn't a bad guess, because that really has been the reason why he is ahead, is that he's been able to go into the forehand enough at the right times. Now when he goes into the backhand, Tursunov is not ready for it.
So strong, even up high on that double-handed. Tursunov can just drag it up the line with pace, and in doing so gets his third break point. Well, he may have been wise to have stayed with his initial plan out wide to the backhand side, because Tursunov lent that way. And Henman not doing too much wrong, you have to say. That's a good break back from Tursunov.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that was a good serve. It landed so close to the center line, and Tursunov found the center of the strings and found room and a break back.
15 love.
Great change of direction.
And another example of how Tursunov, when he needs to release the one hand on the backhand, he doesn't have the same feel.
He still looks pretty clear in how he wants to achieve success today. Ten double faults now for Tursunov, 4 already in this set. Well, it's been one of his strengths over the course of his career, his ability to return the first serve, Henman, and once again knocking it to a good length. This match is proving to be a good mental challenge for both players.
No, missed it. And there's an immediate challenge from Tursunov.
Left far side, the ball's called out.
And that's how valuable a point it was. He knew he needed to convert this. Otherwise it was break point. Let's see what Hawkeye tells us.
No reprieve this time for Tursunov. A chance for Henman to regain the break. Which he does. Another wayward forehand. Doesn't find the target for Tursunov. And all credit to Tim Henman. He's kept his nerve. And once again, goes in front in this fourth set. 3-2.
If you need financial help, who can you turn to for all your borrowing needs in just a stroke? Whoever you are, whatever you do, due to Ocean's new and expanded product range, we could help you. Whether you want to raise extra money, reduce your outgoings, improve your home. In fact, whatever your needs, choose a name you know and can trust. Call Ocean anytime on 0800 858 858 or apply online at oceanfinance.co.uk. Think bigger. Think better. Think Ocean.
Again, you can see the stats. A brief resume of the match. It has been close all the way through. But it is Henman who can afford to smile looking up at the scoreboard. He has shown some delightful touch around the net today.
Well, he's been under tremendous pressure. That's a good return. And again, he kept the racket head still. And watch how he keeps his head very still as well. He just stays with the ball. Very soft with the hands.
First point that he's won on his second serve in this fourth set. And that looked as though it had an element of panic about it from Tursunov.
Well, if you're a power player, oftentimes plan B is more power. And that's not the answer. Great defense from Henman at the nets. He stood his ground, used his hands well, and forced Tursunov to make another difficult pass, which he could not convert. Now that's the way to get it done, and there was the service game that he needed to deliver, being a break up. Able to find enough first serves to give him an easy passage to 4-2, and now he has a bit of room with the break advantage. Perhaps he can swing a little more freely and get a second break. Put this one on ice.
You do question why he hasn't decided to just put a few more three-quarter first serves in and get a bit of rhythm. I mean, he really has put himself under a lot of pressure by hitting so many second serves in this match. It can all seem quite simple for Tursunov when it's all working nicely, the 1-2 punch, but he's allowed Henman to play at times.
Oh yes, hand-to-hand combat.
I think there was an element about Henman here, thought that he hadn't quite got the drop volley quite right. He was running for his life.
And here's the two-hander. Yeah, there was a little bit of retreat about that play, wasn't there? Not exactly a cavalry charge.
7 aces now for Tursunov.
More evidence of why he's such a difficult opponent. Everything looking so poor, yet there's the first serve.
Oh, that's one of the best of the day.
Yes.
Well, he certainly doesn't look like a man that's right on the brink of retiring. He's hit the ball as well as he's hit it all year right now. Well, he's hit that return so well all day, driving it on the forehand side and coming in. And it's been a play that's taken away Tursunov's time to set up for the pass. Tursunov survives, hanging on by his fingertips right now. Once again, Henman was pressing for a second break. Wasn't to be. And Tursunov trailing by the break. 3-4, 4 set.
Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender. Pretending I'm doing well. My need is such, I pretend too much. I'm lonely, but no one can tell. Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender. Just laughing and gay like a clown. I seem to be what I'm not, you see.
Hey, George. Thanks for bringing the car.
I'm wearing my heart like a crown, pretending that you're still around.
Louis Armstrong, court almost full. Everybody here to witness what would be a pretty famous victory for Henman, given his year so far. Tursunov, who's had his struggles this year, opened the year by reaching the third round of the Australian, hurt his wrist, was out for 6 weeks, didn't win back-to-back matches until Queens and Nottingham this year, then won a title, but has lost a couple of first rounds. So he's coming in here with some self-doubts himself. It'll be interesting to see how he can respond from this position. And Henman responds with his 12th ace of the match after what was, by his high standards of this match, a pretty disappointing first volley. He has hit that serve so well, and he's forced Tursunov to have to cover so much of the baseline on the return.
And you don't have to make that serve or serve that serve every time, but just enough to get your man leaning that way. Well, it takes guts, doesn't it, to serve and volley on a second serve. That's when you dig in and say, I'm going to win this point. It's called toughing it out.
And again, he picks the passing shot from Tursunoff. A fairly routine hold for Henman.
Well, routine in that he recovered from love 15 and came up with some very nice first serves. And it's a real lost art, isn't it? Not only the volley, but also reading the play at the net, the ability to move and cover and react. I'm not sure what the tactic is there other than just unleashing all raw power you have.
The sledgehammer approach.
Remarkable stuff from Tursunoff.
It looks as though the Russian is going to force Henman to serve it out. That's indeed what will happen. His 8th ace of the match. But it is Tim Henman who will have the opportunity to serve for a place in the second round. Well, Henman sitting there trying to, I'm sure, not allow his mind to wander to what would be a pretty famous victory, it has to be said, in the circumstances. And just how tough is that, Leaf, when you're sitting there right now wanting to close this out and going through the whole cliche of 1 point at a time.
Yeah, I'm not sure that even after all the experience he's amassed over his great career that it gets any easier. I mean, this is the moment of greatest pressure when the match is on the line, a chance for you to advance and ultimately prevail. And this is where you have to put your nerves in line, get your game plan set, commit to the shot, and get the job done. And that, as always, you're only as good as your last time on the court. So once again, you have to prove to yourself, even though you've done it so many times before, that you can close out a match, the ultimate test for any player.
Can Henman keep his dream alive here in New York at the US Open for at least another couple of days? He's given himself the opportunity, serving for the match.
You know, I think everyone in the building knew he was going to go out wide there. Tursunoff was on it, but it was just too good a serve.
That was also just too good from Henman. A probing pass from the Russian. Well, he had his game face on when I interviewed him before the match, and this is why, because he truly believed he could win what on paper looked like an unwinnable match. 3 match points for Henman. There it is. Henman wins. By no means is it the biggest win of his career, but given the unusual circumstances in which this match is taken place, it has to be one of the most satisfying, and I think that smile that is on his face would be a good indication of that as well. He's not going anywhere in a hurry. He's going to be hanging around here in New York for a few more days at least.
Clearly the best tennis he's played this year, and what a time for it against an opponent who he's really struggled against, but he found the patterns of play that were so effective. He served a beautiful match. Not surprising that he was able to prevail, considering how well he played. He took down one of the most dangerous men in the game.
Well, we'd love to believe that this is going to be a dream run, similar to a few years ago where Henman made it through to the semi-finals. Rafael Nadal was a little unconvincing today, but Henman was the complete opposite. A convincing victory in the end in 4 sets against Dmitry Tursunov, and he lives to fight another day.
Well done, Tim. If you win the US Open, will you overturn that decision to retire?
Yeah, I won't start running before I can walk. No, it's great today. As I said, I've lost to him in all 4 slams, and well, this is the 4th time we've played, and first at the US Open, and it's great to get a win. I've beaten him once in a regular tournament, but over 5 sets and the way, the nature I played, it's very satisfying.
You played with a lot of freedom, it seemed, out there. Was that a lot to do with the occasion, that you felt you had nothing to lose and you might as well just go for it?
Yeah, I think so. I know that there aren't going to be too many more opportunities, and playing in an arena like this, and with the support I had, always was going to make it extra special, and yeah, I felt like my game got, you know, better and better. I've learned a few things from playing him over the past couple of years, and no, really satisfied with my performance. What
pleased you most, because you volleyed great and you served fantastic.
Yeah, I did. I served consistently. I think you've got to do that. I didn't give him too many angles. I served a lot more to his body, and I think he struggles a little bit, and I was putting a lot of pressure on his serve. I think he knew whenever he missed his first serve, I was going to come in behind his second serve, and you know, that starts to wear on him mentally, I think.
So then, next up for Tim Henman, Jo-Wilfried Tsonga. And if we dare to look ahead to round 3, then a possible meeting with Tipsarevic or Rafael Nadal. Greg Brzezinski casting an eye over Tim Henman's progress into round 2 with me. He was a semi-finalist here, Greg. If he uses that experience well against Tsonga, does Tsonga stand a chance?
Well, if he plays like 85% of what he did today, I think he'll definitely beat Tsonga and get into the 3rd round. He was so impressive. One thing they didn't talk about was his movement. He always volleys well and hits the ball well, but his movement was so impressive, the way he was getting right, left, and he looked like he was free in his movement, and that's what he's been struggling this year predominantly with, and the serve was really good.
He wasn't the favourite against Tursunov. He was the underdog against him. He is rated against Tsonga. How's that going to affect his mental state, do you think?
Well, it looks like he's relaxed, because this year, always on the big points and the break points, he's always looked like he couldn't handle those situations. Against Tsonga, I think he'll have the same relaxed approach and he'll be okay.
Okay, so if we're going to think really positively and look a little bit further ahead, a 3rd round meeting with either Tipsarevic or Nadal. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, if Nadal's not healthy, Tipsarevic will win that, and that's another opening for Henman, but that'll be more of a challenge than Tursunov because he's much more consistent. He's beaten Safin, he's beaten Gonzalez this year, so that's going to be a big ask, but one he could actually get through.
Fingers crossed, Greg. Thanks very much for the moment. After the break, Marcus Buckland will be here with Greg and Annabelle for live coverage of Day 4 from New York. And coming up, Andy Murray looking to follow up Tim Henman's success with another British win He's first up against Jonas Bjorkman. We're live from New York. That's coming up next.
More sport, news and views at skysports.com.